So I'm gonna tell you guys about my glucose test. So I'm gonna insert a clip here right now. Okay, my hair is a mess because I just got out of the shower. I'm so disappointed in myself because I got a call from my midwife saying that I failed my 1-hour glucose test, and I feel so disappointed because I feel like I've tried so hard to try and eat healthily. I don't know if it's because I'm having food aversions. I don't even eat sweets. Maybe it's the rice. I don't know. So tomorrow I'm off at work. I'm gonna tear up. Tomorrow I'm off at work, and I'm just gonna go straight to Makalapa, the clinic, and she told me to take a 3-hour glucose test. So I gotta start fasting after midnight, and I work from 1:30 to 10. So of course I'm gonna be hungry once I get home, and I'm having a hard time eating food because every time I eat I feel like I'm gonna throw up. So I don't know how that's gonna happen. I'll just take you guys with me tomorrow, I guess. I don't know. I honestly don't know if I could film in there because it's a military clinic. That's why I haven't been filming any updates. I already got my ultrasound, but it's not an official ultrasound. They just checked me. I didn't even know I was gonna get an ultrasound. My husband wasn't there. So I'm just disappointed. I don't know what I did wrong. So I'm just gonna do a 3-hour glucose test tomorrow, and I'm hoping I could take you guys with me there. I'll just sneak in or something, I don't know. So quick update. I failed my 1-hour glucose test. I got a call from my midwife. That happened, so I had to do a 3-hour one. Now this is just in my experience. Hopefully this does not happen to you guys, because I was traumatized. Like, I cannot even explain, but I was traumatized. Okay, so this is what happened. So I fasted the night before, and I came in at around 8:15, and then by 8:15 or 8:20 at this point, they drew my blood to see if I was okay to push through with a glucose test. So the guy that took my blood gave me a thumbs up, and then I had to drink the sweet drink that tasted like ginger ale / Sprite for within 5 minutes. So I did. It was like 100 grams, I think. And then I drank that. I had a bad experience with my first one because my first hour I started feeling nauseous 15 minutes in. Same thing happened. I started feeling nauseous 15 minutes in, and I just tried to, since I was gonna be there for 3 or 4 hours, I just sat around and was on my phone watching Netflix. So 25 minutes in, I wanted to take a nap because I was so nauseous. I wanted to throw up. So I tried to close my eyes on the chair, and it didn't happen. And then fast forward to an hour later, the guy drew my blood. Right before he drew my blood, I was like, is it normal to feel nauseous? And he's like, yeah, it's totally normal. That's why we had you sign a waiver, yada, 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 yada. And then I gagged, like wanted to throw up. And then he's like, oh, if you throw up, you have to do this all over again. So I just held it in there, and I was feeling so bad at this point. I felt like I was so hungover. So he was like, did you want to just lay down on this corner, and do you want a blanket? Because I was shivering, I was cold, I was just not feeling it anymore. I felt so drunk at that point. The sugar I wasn't having it. So I did lay down there. So I was there for like 15-20 minutes, and he gave me a blanket, and then a doctor saw me. She was like, are you okay? I'm like, yeah, I'm okay. Oh my God. Excuse me. So she was like, are you okay? And I'm like, yeah, I'm okay. And then she was like, oh, you're starting to look a little clammy. So she called a nurse in. She took my military ID to see who my doctor was, and my doctor was in the area. I couldn't even function at this point because I felt so weak, and I felt so nauseous. I felt like throwing up. So they took my vitals, this corpsman. She brought in 2 different types of corpsman. They took care of me, yada 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 yada. And then I was just not having it. So I was there, and then they were asking when's the second time I need to get my blood drawn. So it was like 10 minutes later. So they were like, okay, let's just wait. So they took my blood 10 minutes later, and then I took a nap. And then I felt someone patting on my leg. It was my PCM, it was my doctor. And he was like, are you okay? And this and that and this and that. I just kept explaining to him, I feel nauseous, I don't feel too great. And then I think at this point he told me that he's gonna transfer me to a different room so I could just relax, because I was in the area where people are getting their blood drawn. So it was just a whole, I felt so embarrassed because I felt like I was in the center of attention. And then they also asked me why I got my glucose test done in my first trimester. I was 6 weeks pregnant, 6 weeks. And the lady that was there with me the same time I got, like I was there with her the same time I got in. She's like 20 something, she was showing, and I'm like flat stomach. And then the nurse was like, well, who ordered you these tests? And I'm like, oh, the nurse at the hospital that I went to ordered me these tests to get this time. And then the first doctor that saw me, she was like, oh, maybe, when she first saw me, she was like, maybe she's having an allergic reaction. Does anyone in your family has diabetes? And my brother does have. So they're like, oh, why didn't they test you before they made you do all these tests and you're in your first trimester? And I'm like, I have no idea what's going on. I just feel so horrible at this point. Yeah, mommy feels horrible at this point. So fast forward later, they moved me to a different room. The corpsman, she was there with me the whole time. I remember I needed to pee. I was put in a wheelchair. She was there with me in the bathroom stall. I swear to God, I had the longest pee in my life. I think I peed like a minute straight. And I was so embarrassed. And I'm like, I'm so sorry. This is the longest pee you've ever had to hear in your whole entire life. She's like, no, it's okay. She was telling me about her experience with the glucose test. But then they were all wondering why they made me take it at 6 weeks pregnant. I'm like, I honestly have no idea why. And yeah. So my doctor, they checked my first blood draw, the second and third, because apparently it's 4 times. The first one was okay, because that was the initial one. The first actual one after the glucose test, I failed it. The second one and third one, the second one, they don't know. I think it was also like, I failed it, I guess. I don't know. I have no idea. I don't know. But he told me the first one, it was too high, it was abnormal. The second, and then my corpsman had to put me back to the lab, get my last blood drawn, and then put me back in. And then from there, we just waited. My doctor, he saw me afterwards. He was so nice because I didn't even have an appointment. He just saw me after he saw like his patients. It was like lunchtime at this point, and I was starving. I was there at 8. I didn't eat at like 9 or 10 in the evening prior, and then it was like 12:30, 1 o'clock at this point. And I was like feeling so nauseous. I had to drive back home, but they didn't make me go home yet until I was okay. And he basically told me what was going on, if this nausea was just starting. My nausea started exactly at 6 weeks. So yeah, he just gave me vitamin B6, which did not work. The only thing that helped me with nausea is the Prego Pops from Amazon. Yeah, I guess that's it. And yeah, that's my horror story with my 3-hour glucose test. I just felt I was dying. I felt so embarrassed because everyone's eyes were on me. I felt like I was the center of attention. I didn't know that it was gonna happen to me, you know. And right now I haven't heard back from my midwife or my doctor. So what they told me is that no news is good news. So hopefully I did pass this 3-hour glucose test. Hopefully, because I know I failed my first one, that's why I got this third. And yeah, this is my horror story. It was, my doctor apologized to me that this happened to me. He was so nice. I love my doctor. Yeah, I'm like, I just don't know what's going on. I just felt so terrible. I was just nauseous. I wanted to throw up. I felt so hungover. I wanted to cry. My husband couldn't pick me up because he was in school. So I'm like, fudge, you know what I mean? So after he saw me, he just made sure I was okay. And then right after that, I went straight to freaking Subway. I don't even remember buying 12 bags of chips, like the big party bag of chips. I got it, and La Shadow, I got those, and then I bought dips. I remember eating the Subway. I don't remember buying I was delusional at this point. I was driving too. My husband went home. He saw that I had like lots of bags of chips, and he's like, what were you thinking? I'm like, I don't know, I wasn't thinking at all. I was just so hungry at this point. So yeah, he just had to return it for me because I was not having it the whole day. Shadow, what's that, boy? So that's basically my horror story. So hopefully this does not happen to you guys. The next time I get pregnant, I'm gonna take my glucose test when I'm like in my second, third trimester. I'm not doing it first trimester. I'm traumatized. That's all I have to say. Like during that day, I swore to myself I'm never drinking ginger ale or anything that's sweet. So up to this day, I don't drink anything, you know, the ones with spirit, like the soft drinks. Never had those ever again. I was traumatized. So that's it. Hopefully this does not happen to you. So that's basically my story. And hi girl. And yeah, that's it. Okay, bye.